mai kai Yehova e kuhane a me kona inoa wanu hoi e kulohu ua pau e ho mai kai Yehova e kuhane a me kona inoa wanu hoi e kulohu ua pau ka mea I kala mai ho ala pau ka mea I kala mai ho mau mai a pau I mau aku kaloko mai kai o ke akua a me ka launa ua nuka oana he molele me ka ko a pau e ko mako maku I loko kalani e puanu ia ko inoa e hiki mai ko a o puni e malama ia ko make mako honua nei e liki me ia e malama ia makalani la. May the Lord God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may God lift up his countenance upon all of you and give you peace, prosperity, and pleasure in what he chose you to do. Mahalo nui loa o ke akua. God bless you. Have a good day. And all of you, you know what this means? Shaka, yeah, that's for the tourists. For our people, this means aloha. So you all repeat after me. I'll let you know meaning of aloha. Aloha means always, love, over, hate, always. No more Hawaiians, no more aloha, but no more akua, God, no more love. So if you don't know, as it is written, for God so loved you, that he chose you to assist those that need your help, because without him, we can't do nothing. Sorry, I didn't mean to be preaching. God bless. Aloha. Okay, next.
It's okay to give him a hand. Give him a hand, man. Thank you so much, Pastor Lucky. Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the West Maui Taxpayers Annual Meeting. This is our 41st year of the West Maui Taxpayers Annual Meetings. My name is Joe Pluta. I'm the president of the board of directors of the West Maui Taxpayers. Well, we started last year a little something that, 41 years, gosh, I was 41 years younger then. I think I had hair then too when we had our first annual meeting. But time has gone by so fast, but we've had such incredible people there. I see Lori Lawson back there, and her husband Mac was one of our staunch initial founding board member partners, and we honored him. We started a thing called the Hall of Honors. The Hall of Honors, where we recognize some of our distinguished members who have been with us and worked so hard but are no longer with us today. But boy, the legacy of what they did for us still lives on. Last year, we inducted Jack Millar to the Hall of Honors. He was the initial founding member of the Honokawai Napili Kapalua Taxpayers Union that we changed to the West Maui Taxpayers, because nobody could pronounce Honokawai Napili Kapalua Taxpayers Union. And they made me in charge of membership. I said, if you want me to be in charge of membership, we got to change the name to something that's more all of West Maui. How about West Maui Taxpayers? And that's what it started. Anyway, so Jack Millar was inducted to our Hall of Honors. James Mac Lawson was also Lori's husband. Mac and Uwe Schultz, our architect, who devoted countless hours and time and money and effort for volunteer services. Although you serve on boards and commissions and on your associations, raise your hand. So you know how much pay you get, right? We're all paid the same way, the big zero. But what we get is money can't buy anyway. When you see that you care and you love something and you put your effort into it and you see results, things happen, lives change, things get better, you can't buy that. Money can't buy those kind of things. So it's priceless. This year in our Hall of Honors, we've got 2 more distinguished people. I've tried to contact them, and unfortunately, I can't contact them. They're with God right now, but they're looking down at us right now. The first is Charlie Nalepa. Does anybody remember Charlie Nalepa? Charlie Nalapa, what a man. He was our executive director and for the West Maui taxpayers and board member, and he was charged with the fact that he had to go out and collect the money that we were trying to raise for building our fire and ambulance station in Napili. It's never been done before, ever before in the state of Hawaii, where a community built its own fire and ambulance station, and nobody believed we could do it. So when Charlie was trying to get the money, he was having a hard time. But when we got the land donated by Maui Land and Pineapple next to where it's at right there in the Napili Plaza, and we also got the Bank of Hawaii saying that if you're willing to put a second mortgage on your house, Joe will give you the construction loan. I did that. My wife wasn't happy about that, but I did that, and so did Ron Kawahara and Uwe Schultz, and we put second mortgages on our house because the Bank of Hawaii didn't believe we were going to get it done either. But we did. And of course, now it's been saving the homeowners millions and millions of dollars, and many lives have been saved as a result of that. Can money buy that? I mean, it's just fantastic. We got more and more things to do, but Charlie's job of trying to collect the money for that was awesome, and he was successful. Those of you who met Charlie, you knew what a magnetic personality he had. Guy was awesome. And we're honoring him, Charlie Nalepa. His wife, Shelley, is now moved to Colorado. She said after 46 years of living here and she's 70-some years old and couldn't, just working to pay the mortgage, it wasn't worth it. It's too hard, too expensive, so she moved. Sad story, it's hard to lose her, but she's very thrilled that Charlie will be immortalized in our Hall of Honors. And then Richard James McCarty. Does anybody remember Richard James McCarty? Raise your hand. Not a lot. He's one of those guys that he's a lawyer, attorney, and he's one of those that gave lawyers a good name. I mean, I've never seen someone so selfless and unassuming and not looking for any limelight. He helped the Hawaiian people. I know that the Hawaiian organizations in Lahaina, when he passed, had a big celebration of life for him. They just couldn't believe that this guy devoted so many, countless thousands of hours for free to try to help them, as he did for us in the West Maui taxpayers community. He wrote all types of things for us, legal things that we could not afford to do on our own, but he helped us make these difficult agreements all for free. And he's no longer with us, but he's now will be forever immortalized in our Hall of Honors, which you can see on our website. And we'll be sending this to his wife, Vicki, who's also residing in the mainland now. But anyway, that's what it's all about. It's all about people, and we want to perpetuate this Hall of Honors things as a way to recognize the legacy that they've left. And they're no longer with us, but what they've done for us continues to live on. We've done impossible things that they said were impossible. And because of men like that, and with God's help, we did these things, and it's just such an awesome thing. This community is awesome. You know, those of you who have been in West Maui for any amount of time, you know, and you look at our accomplishment boards, and as you see some of the presentations we have here today, you'll know how energized and mobilized this community has been. And it hasn't been an easy battle, but with some assistance from dedicated people, we've done things that people still are amazed about. Some of them will be speaking here for us tonight in our elected representatives. It's a battle they have to try to get anything for Maui when everybody needs the same things everywhere else, and it's a battle for the money and attention. But we've won some major ones, and we got a lot of battles ahead of us, but you know, with God's help, we're going to continue to make progress, and you're vital to that whole point. So my board of directors, could I ask my board of directors to please come up front here today? Where's my board at? West Maui taxpayers. Board members here, I know that we've got some. Lee Chamberlain is on the mainland right now. He won't be here. Rick Nava, you here? Rick said he was going to be here today. Rick's also now chairman of the Chamber, Maui Chamber of Commerce. John Seabart here. Foresta Tali. Richard Jarman. Joe Park. Greg Nelson was here setting up the chairs earlier, but he's on, I don't know how many boards and commissions, and he's got another meeting at 5 and another meeting after that, and another meeting. The guy is amazing, but he still took the time to come here and help set up earlier today. And myself. So that's our current slate. So the meeting has been called to order. We've had official notice of the meeting that has been properly held by proxies. We've got sufficient proxies. And the election of the board of directors, I'm asking for a unanimous ballot to be cast for the people you see right in front of you here. and Lee Chamberlain and Greg, who aren't here in person. Can I have a motion to do that? Moved by Ross. Is there a second? There's a second. Lori. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. How awesome is that? Do your elections at your boards go like that? I don't think so. But that's why, if you want to be on our board, we'd love to have you. You know, come talk with us. We've got some vacancies on our board. We need, the pay isn't great, but the rewards of what you see you can do is awesome. We're still got many tasks and things to do ahead of us, and you'll hear about more of that as the program proceeds. But that's it. No other business. The meeting, the official portion of the West Maui Taxpayers Annual Meeting is over. It's adjourned. Isn't that cool? How cool is that? Big hand for that. Thank you, board members. Let me just say thank you publicly. I want you to look at the camera over here so everybody can see you. Anakaku. They attend our meetings, of course, regularly. We work together, we brainstorm, we try our best to try to see what we can do for the next step and move forward. And thanks to their help and your help and our members, we're moving forward. So give them a big hand, would you please? Thank you very much for your service. Thank you very much. Taking the picture, Vanessa Pacheco is a new administrative assistant with us. Give her a round of applause. Vanessa, thank you. And back there, Zeke, our executive director, the last executive director we had, Zeke Kalua, there he is, back there. If you heard that song, Hawaiian Superman, well, I think they wrote it for him, because he's an amazing guy. Hawaiian Superman, he's done so many things, and he, thank God, is still with the County of Maui, helping us as best he can inside with the county. Thank you, Zeke. And the sound, he's got a side, was it DJ Z? DJ Z, weddings, this is a plug, it's commercial. Got to do it, it's my son. I married his mom, so I got to do this. He's the best. He is absolutely the best. Thank you. And Chivo Ching Johnson, Nakaku, maybe their top guy, is right here doing the filming for us. So this will be rebroadcast on Nakaku. The presentations that tonight are going to be really worthwhile presentations. I'm going to ask people when they come up to be on this side of the stage here. We don't have a lectern here or a podium, but we want to make sure that the camera's seeing you. That official thing is over. So we're going to go right on with the recognition and remarks by governmental representatives. Please join me in welcoming Representative Angus McKelvey, 10th District House. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Aloha, everybody. Thank you for coming out on this windy, rainy night. My house is getting hammered right now pretty good. So I flew over from Oahu. We're working on bills. We're about to get into the second part of the biennium. We can pre-file now, so we're circulating things and trying to get our ideas from the concept stage onto paper, so we can discuss them in committee and move on them. I don't have to repeat the numerous pressing problems we have here in Maui, and all over Hawaii. We're going to try to tackle them the best we can. Number one, of course, you see it driving back and forth, erosion, the impact of our highway, and the inundation that is occurring right now to our lifeline. We have a situation that is affecting everybody now all over the Hawaii. And it's good, because now other people are starting to experience the issues we've been dealing with for years. We're looking at trying to package all of our coastal roads under one umbrella, if you will, so that we can attack this erosion problem as a group on a statewide level. We put money in for a task force last year for the Honopi'ilani Highway erosion, but I think we need to move quicker than a task force, and I think there's things we can do right now to get shared responsibility. Education, of course, is always a pressing issue. One of the issues that I think we need to move on, and I'm glad the governor has agreed, is to give an increase, long overdue, to our special education teachers, which there is a shortage of right now in the state of Hawaii. Look forward to that bill, and I'm hoping that through the collective bargaining process, the governor will also increase the pay of all of our teachers, because as you see, we have a hard time attracting teachers, and when they do come here, they leave right away because of the cost of living. The cost of living is killing us. I don't need to keep beating this horse, but we have to. People are struggling going in the grocery stores to compete. And in West Maui, where you have such a hyper economy, so much wealth power coming into the area, people who are working hard, 2 or 3 jobs, it's even harder. Affordable housing is critical. We have several projects we're working with the county, but the biggest one and most important to me is putting real money behind Department of Hawaiian Homelands, DHHL. It's the right thing to do. It is long overdue, but the other reason why it is so imperative, especially with the villages of Leali'i with phases 2 and 3, is affordable housing created on DHHL lands won't go into speculator hands. And when Hawaiians have the opportunity to have housing on Hawaiian homelands, it frees up more housing outside of Hawaiian homelands for everybody else. We're trying to look at putting affordable housing into areas where it can be in perpetuity. I want to give a shout out to Nahale o Maui and the work that they're doing. We're going to try to support them even more this year with the units they're creating to create affordable housing in perpetuity. Because as you've seen, housing comes on, it gets approved, it gets sold, and we're right back to square one. 24% of our housing inventory is now owned by people who don't live here, and majority of it is being used as revenue generating. And this is something we have to really deliver a real Airbnb bill that gives the county power to be able to enforce the Airbnb regulations. That's critical. It was lacking last year, and this year we have to do something to ensure that not only we're getting tax revenue, but that we're giving the county the tools they need to make sure that illegal activity isn't occurring everywhere. I could go on and on and on about the numerous things that are in front of this session, but the most important thing is you guys. I mean, without you, great things like Front Street Apartments, things like the next phase of the bypass, which is going to start up next year to be built going north, they won't happen. They happen because you guys got out there. You sent emails in, you testified. We have a great website, the Capitol, www.capitol.gov. We have a public access room that has a number of tools, people on the phone that can answer any questions. And this year, we have a special section for Keiki, for the Capitol website. So kids can get on, they can track bills, they can talk to other kids. It's a really good idea to get everybody involved in government. And so, but I need all you guys there. Without you guys and your voices at the Capitol, then we really have both hands tied behind our back. So thank you again for giving me the wonderful opportunity to serve all of you over in the crazy area of Hanazuzu, and keep fighting for things that really, really matter for us here and not over there. Mahalo, thank you.
Give a big hand for Senator Ross Baker, 6th Senate District.
Thanks, Joe. Aloha, everyone. So nice to see all of you out on this very blustery evening. Just a couple of things that I want to share as some information that may be of interest to you. We open the second year of the biennium legislative session on January the 15th. Normally, when it's the first year, we have lots of hoopla, lots of parties, lots of ceremony. This year, we're just going to open and get right down to business. So if you're planning to come over to share an opening day, you're not going to find the normal festivities that we would have. But we'd love to have you come over and go around and talk story with our colleagues as well. All of the bills that were introduced last session that did not move forward are still active. So some of those we may be pulling back, others we're going to be introducing new pieces of legislation. I have the honor and privilege of chairing basically two committees. It's a committee on Commerce, Consumer Protection, and Health. So everything that's in the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, everything that's in the Department of Health, with the exception of environmental health, comes to my committee. So we're going to have a very full plate and lots of activities. I'm very fortunate. I've got some excellent staff. I have a group of interns from the UH School of Nursing that are going to be helping us out, as well as some others. So if you get a chance, please, and you're in Honolulu, come by and stop on the second floor, room 230, and talk story with us and my staff. They'd love to meet you, and we'd love to see you there. Let's see. One of the things that we'll be working on, Ways and Means is the Money Committee in the Senate, Finance is the Money Committee in the House, working on the second year of the budget. Sometimes we go back and tweak what's already in the budget, but we'll be looking at CIP, so I'm going to be looking at what comes in from the Department of Education for Lahaina Luna, all of the elementary, middle schools here on the west side, as well as the south side, because my district is what I call the Gold Coast of Maui. It's South and West Maui, so from McKenna Beach in the south to Kapalua in the north. And so it's a vast area, lots of different interests, but we try to give voice to all of them. I also have the opportunity to serve on an organization that maybe you've not heard of. It's the Maui Metropolitan Planning Organization. And that activity is required by the federal government after you reach a certain size. And it really deals with roadways and planning for those kinds of activities, how the federal funds are gonna flow after they come in to us. So I'm pleased to sit on that because I know that roads are a huge and important topic for all of us. How we get in and out of West Maui, how the folks get in and out of South Maui, and how we can make sure that traffic flows and people are not unduly inconvenienced with all of the rental cars and other traffic that's on the road. One of the areas that is in my committee jurisdiction, and I've got a package of bills to try to address it. How many people know that we have a lot of middle school young people that are vaping these days? You're not supposed to even be able to purchase or obtain these items unless you're 21. I don't know of anybody in middle school that's 21. So we have a huge problem. It's a public health problem. So one of the things that my committee is going to be working on is how we can disincent people from vaping by raising the taxes, the fees on vaping and vape products. One of the things we want to do is ban the flavored products because that's what lures kids in. And even though the feds have said that they're going to get rid of some of them, they left the gateway flavor in. They did not say that they were going to ban menthol. I don't know whether any of you remember the history of how a lot of people, big tobacco, got a lot of people hooked on cigarettes. They put menthol in the cigarettes. It made it easier to draw and to come down. And so that's how generations of people who might not otherwise have gotten hooked on nicotine did. They're doing the same thing with our kids with the e-liquids. So one of the things we're planning to do, the bill is already drafted, it's circulating for signatures, and after we open and we get the bills referred to committee, then we can start hearings. But I have, I think, 3 different bills on vaping, and the key, of course, for me is to make sure that we can ban flavors, the sale of flavors in Hawaii, because that's what is really hooking our kids. And we're developing a whole new generation of folks addicted to nicotine because of all of the e-liquids we've looked at, almost all of them have nicotine in them. So they're not safe, they're not benign, they're actually very dangerous. And so we need to get the word out. We're going to be working with the DOE on some of the things that they can do to make sure that students on DOE campuses are not vaping and that we can dispose of these things properly. How many people in here live in condominiums? I know I do, and every year we have a number of bills to try to make it a little bit easier for people living in condominiums to interact with their association, to make sure that things are streamlined as best they can. So we'll be looking at some of those. The other thing that comes through my committee is all of the nominations that the governor makes for various boards and commissions, whether it's the Board of Dental Examiners, whether it's the Board of Chiropractic, or other kinds of professions that are regulated by the state. The governor makes nominations to these boards and commissions, and those particular boards and commissions come to my committee for confirmation. So that's one of the tasks that we have that not all of the committees in the legislature have. But the reason I mention this is because they're always looking for people who want to serve on these boards and commissions. And if the commission or the board meets in Honolulu, Your airfare is paid to go over, your taxi to come in to the Capitol, because that's where most of them meet, or in the executive offices across the street. So if you're interested, there is a link on the website. If you just let me know of your interest, give me your email address, and I will get you the information, because we're always looking for people. And I know we've got great people here on the west side that could really add value to a number of these boards and commissions. So if you're interested, please let me know. I thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit with you. My email is senbaker@capital.hawaii all spelled out .gov. Our Capitol website is a little different than what Angus said. It's capital.hawaii all spelled out .gov. So www.capital.hawaii.gov. And there's a wealth of information on there. If you need any help navigating it, send me an email, call my office, and we'll try to assist you. But thank you so much for the opportunity to share a little bit with you. Should I take questions or no? Okay, all right. Let me turn the microphone over to Sandy Boz.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Roz. Let's give Roz a big hand, will you, please? You know, I said this before last year, I don't know if you remember it, but it was at one of these meetings some years ago. I forget when Ross was in the audience out there. She wasn't in politics, and she was up speaking about something that she wanted to see done. We said, why don't you get in politics? We want you to run for office. And of course, what a great move that was. And so that was an awesome thing. So is any of you aspiring? Raise your hand. We maybe get you to do the same thing. Those of you on Akaku get a chance to see this. We'll get the rebroadcast schedule. I know there's a lot of people who want to know this information. Fortunately, since we're capturing this, it'll be rebroadcast, and it'll be perpetually kept in our Vimeo link on our website as well, so people can come back and refer to it and re-see it again, which is awesome. Thank you, and thanks to Akaku. He'll be breaking it down in presentations as well. Okay, instead of watching the whole annual meeting, there'll be segments so they can just go right to a specific presentation. Beautiful. Oh, that's an awesome improvement. Thank you, Chivo. That's really good. Well, again, thank you all very much. Happy New Year. God bless you, and aloha.